Hi guys! My Pikachu literally fell off my laptop. This is so sad. Anyway, I'm cold. Anywho, what's up guys? And why is this so effing crooked? Oh my god. No. Stop effing turning. Okay, there you go. Anyway, this is my part 2 video for... what was it? Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 1. So yes, it's the first episode of Season 3! Hey! Because if you guys remember, on Sunday, it premiered, and blah, 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 blah. It was a special 2-hour premiere, because it showed not only Episode 1, which is titled Eye of the Beholder, it did Episode 2 titled The New Frontier. So this is my Part 2 video. There most likely will be at least maybe possibility 3 parts. Knowing me. Just knowing me and Walking Dead in general when I do my videos, the most videos I've had when it came to the normal Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, I always end up with at least at most 3 videos. There was like this rare occasion where I actually went past 3 videos, but that wasn't much. But anyway, where did I leave off? Travis talks to another prisoner named Steven, planning their escape. Apparently they could escape through this depot versus, they could escape the depot via sewer tunnel, and it leads to the border. So Travis agrees to help, and these soldiers that are like experimenting on everybody, basically they're experimenting on the little prisoners by, getting people who have like different height, different weight, different body type, different ethnicity, and they're basically shooting them and waiting for them to turn, and they're all making bets to see, you know, who turns fastest or who does it slow and all that stuff. And, you know, the soldiers are getting really bored, so they amped up their ante in their sick little twisted game by, instead of shooting just one person, they begin shooting 2 victims at once. And unfortunately for Nick, he's next in line. So anyway, Troy, the sicko perv that he is actually watching Madison and Alicia sleep, and he's taking notes in a journal while doing so. So I told you guys, this guy's a creepo. I bet you, like, no offense to any soldiers, but like, I don't know how long he's been like a soldier or deployed and shit like that, for all we know. Like, obviously he was deployed and a soldier during the beginning of the outbreak, but for all we know, he could have been like deployed for months and had any action. And so, when you're deployed, you don't have any action with someone, and all of a sudden the apocalypse is there, and there's even more non-action out there, and you see 2 pretty girls, you're gonna get sick and twisted. And this is exactly what's happening to Troy. He's being kind of creepy, sick, twisted, because he's watching Madison and Alicia sleep, and then he's taking notes in a journal. It's highly disturbing, if you think about it. But anyway, Madison ends up waking up and asks Troy if Travis is dead. And Troy, again, does not answer her when it comes to Travis. And, she ends up telling Troy, you know, she loves Travis's life more than her own. Basically, she loves Travis more than her own life, you know what I mean? And, back with the corpses, I believe one of the dudes is named Willie. And his comrade, they make a bet on which corpse will turn first. Because remember, instead of 1 person they shot, they ended up shooting 2 at the same time. They're like, I bet you this one's gonna turn faster than this one and all that stuff. And Willie and his comrade are making that bet. Travis manages to convince Willie and his comrade to shoot him next instead of Nick. Because remember, when they shot 2 at the same time, the next one in line was actually Nick. So he was the next one that they were going to shoot after this little experiment with the 2. And Travis manages to save Nick by convincing Willie and his comrade, shoot me next. Shoot me. Not Nick, shoot me first, right? And, apparently the reason how he convinced Willie and his comrade to shoot him next is because he says, Maori people, aka warrior people, don't turn. So he's trying to, his convincing was, if you shoot me, I'm Maori, and I won't turn into one of the infected. Shoot me next. Right? So, they chain up Travis, and, but as they're chaining up Travis, Travis manages to attack Willie, And then he throws the other soldier over to that freshly turned infected. Because remember, like I said, they shot 2 victims at the same time before Nick was the next supposed victim. And, well, yeah. As they were chaining Travis, he attacked Willie and threw the other dude at the freshly turned infected, hence killing him, obviously. And Travis, Nick, Steven, and a very wounded Luciana escape in the chaos. And, back with Troy, he's telling Madison that they're getting ready to evacuate the depot. And, I think he's even more sick and twisted because he's offering to release Travis if Madison and Alicia go home with him. And it's like, dude, do you really need a woman that bad that you're like, I will release your man if you and Alicia come with me? Right? It's disturbing to me. That's what I keep thinking it is, honestly, because the way he took a very interesting, creepy yet interesting, like, I wouldn't say attraction, but he seemingly took more notice to Madison from the moment he saw her, and, like, he watched her and Alicia sleep. It's like, dude, now you're, like, saying, I'll release Travis if you and Alicia come home with me? I think you got a problem there, dude. But anyway, as that's happening, they hear a gunshot outside, right? Obviously, that has to be because of, Willie getting attacked by Travis and the other soldier getting eaten. So Troy runs out of the office and locks the door behind him. And of course, his men, they're firing at Travis, Nick, Luciana, and Steven as they flee the barrack. As the soldiers are gaining on them, Travis tells Nick and Luciana, and I'm guessing also Steven. I want to say also Steven, I don't remember, but he definitely tells Nick and Luciana to go on without him because he stays behind. Because, the soldiers are gaining on them. And, I'm only guessing Travis is like, they're gaining on us. I need to distract them so the others could at least escape, right? So he tells Nick and Luciana, go, I'll stay behind, distract these suckers while I can. And, Steven, I believe, is the one that leads Nick and Luciana to the sewer gate. And Nick helps Luciana down to the sewer gate and then follows behind her. But unfortunately, Steven ends up getting shot by the soldiers before he could descend into the sewer. And so, since he got shot, Willie gets a hold of Steven's body and slits Steven's throat. And then throws his body down in the sewer because he's like, you know what? Since the escape in the sewer, I'm gonna kill Steven, and hopefully he'll turn in the sewer and pretty much kill Luciana and Nick, right? Somebody saw him. Anyway, Troy ends up ordering his men, who have captured Travis, because remember, he stayed behind, to take him to the pit around the back of the compound, and the pit apparently is, like, filled with, infected. And then Troy returns to the office, and Madison ends up attacking him with the knife she got from Alicia, that she hid. Unfortunately, Troy ends up knocking the weapon out of her hand, but then she manages to grab a hold of a spoon. Madison uses a spoon and plunges it into his eye socket. And Madison tells Troy if he tries to break away, he'll end up losing his eye. So Madison yells for Alicia to go find Travis and a vehicle while she has, Troy pretty much hostage. Anyway, Alicia, she sprints outside and hides between some parked military vehicles, and she's all scanning her surroundings, searching for, where they may have taken Travis. And while that's happening, Nick and Luciana make their way through the sewer tunnels. And Luciana, she's all telling Nick, I'm injured, I'm not gonna make it, I'm just gonna be a burden to you, just go on without me. But of course, Nick refuses to leave Luciana behind, saying, I'm never gonna leave you behind, like that, right? And so, Nick knocks down another sewer grate, only to find a whole horde of infected. Hang on for a sec, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I heard something. But anyway, they end up going down the sewer, and Nick knocks down another sewer grate, only to find an entire horde of infected literally on the other side. And he and Luciana obviously can't go through there, because one, Luciana is injured, right? There's no way she's going to go through an entire horde like that. So anyway, they end up fleeing back inside the tunnel, and pretty much the horde follows them in. And, back to Travis, the soldiers who captured Travis because he stayed behind pretty much throw Travis inside a pit of infected. And the soldiers watch as infected start approaching Travis, big groups by big groups, and they bet on chances of survival, because remember, they were betting on how fast some of the people they kill will turn. So naturally, they're all betting on this, right? And, you see Travis pretty much fighting for his life, and he ends up killing every single infected in the pit, literally just using cinder blocks, the surrounding walls, and his bare fists as weaponry. And he manages to kill every single infected inside the pit, which is, I'm not gonna lie, very impressive. I'm like, damn, Travis, respect, right? And from above, you know, Willie's all telling Travis he's impressed, because I would be impressed. I mean, for Christ's sake, there was a bunch of infected that were inside that pit with him, and he literally killed every single one of them by just using walls, cinder blocks, and his bare fists. That's freaking impressive. I'm not surprised Willie is impressed with him. And then so Willie pretty much decides to amp up the ante and pretty much unlocks a giant cell in the pit, unleashing more infected on him, right? And then we see Madison dragging Troy outside, holding a spoon to his gouged eye as armed soldiers surround them. And Troy tells the soldiers, you know, back off and everything. And Alicia hides in a truck as the soldiers pack for the impending evacuation of the base. Because remember, Troy even mentioned to Madison that they're going to evacuate. And Troy's brother, apparently he has a brother there named Jake, arrives and pretty much urges Madison to please release his brother, right? And, you know, he acknowledges, you know, he understands why Madison's doing this to Troy, because Jake said, like, you know, Troy probably deserves what you're doing to him right now, but please, just let him go. Because he's like, my brother deserved whatever's coming to him, but you're literally surrounded with nowhere to go, so please just let him go, right? So Madison follows Jake's begging and releases Troy. Unfortunately for her, he lunges at her, but then Troy gets subdued by his brother Jake, who demands to know where Madison's family is. So Troy's like, fine, I'll take you to Travis. He's in the pit, right? And I was like, so the psycho's not completely psychotic, because he'll listen to his brother, right? Anyway, remember Steven who got shot before going in the sewer and Willie slit his throat and got thrown inside the sewer? So undead Steven starts attacking Nick in the tunnel, and of course Luciana's also there, and Nick's most likely protecting Luciana, because remember, Luciana is wounded, and literally on one side of them was a whole horde of infected, and that followed them back into the tunnels. Literally, they have on one side the infected horde, and then they have infected Steven too. So Nick's literally trying to protect poor wounded Luciana by himself against undead Steven and the upcoming herd of infected coming toward them. And apparently Alicia manages to hear Nick's cries and follows the sound to the sewer grate. You know, she peers down and she sees Nick and Luciana below in trouble, right? And, you know, Nick is literally, undead Steven is literally on top of Nick trying to bite him, so Alicia drops her knife down. And Luciana manages to pick up the knife and puts down undead Steven. Unfortunately, as that's happening, soldiers find Alicia and apprehend her before she could actually get to her brother, you know, have like a legitimate reunion with him. And then while that's happening, oh, I'm running out of time. I'll see you in a part 3 video, guys. Bye.